My dear friends, welcome to Rajshekhar classes on applied data science with Python. This is lecture number 458. In this lecture, we will try to understand code sample. So thankfully, scikit-learn has very good calibrated classifier model. Let's understand the function definition and then we will look at simple example. So in sklearn, there is a calibrated classifier cross validate. I will explain what is this base estimator. This base estimator we will try to understand with an example little later. But what is this method? Either you can choose sigmoid or isotonic, and to perform this regression, remember what we are doing with calibration, they are performing a regression. For that regression again, we need cross validation. This cross validation is basically how many cross validation folds that we want for this regression problem. Let's look at this. Here I am training Gaussian naive-Bayes model. What is this Gaussian naive-Bayes? We discussed what is Gaussian naive-Bayes in our previous lectures. I am training Gaussian naive-Bayes model first. Once I train Gaussian naive-Bayes model, look at what happens. I have my original data, my trained data and detrain, on which I am training Gaussian naive-Bayes model, which is like a function f. On top of this, I need to build a calibration model, because the output generated from this model f is yq cap. Now I calibrate them and give your probability values, pre-probability p of yq equal to 1 given xq. That's what I tried to do that. So first we have to train a base model. Base model in my case is Gaussian naive-Bayes model. Just understand this function. We already discussed what is this fit function in our previous lectures. Predict function, predict proba, score, set parameters. I request all of you to go through this particular documentation and just understand this one, what it says. Just see, this is documentation related to sklearn. What it says, sklearn calibrated classifier CV. Just I request you to go through this particular documentation. Just see method, it says sigmoid or iso. By default it is sigmoid, and you have isotonic CV split, and just see he says something about k-fold cross validation. We already discussed what is k-fold cross validation in our previous lecture series. Just I request all of you just go through this particular code. Just see, this is Gaussian naive-Bayes model. This is calibrated CLV.predict proba. Just go through different examples related to this. Also there are something like probability calibration of classifiers. We have a beautiful code. This is related to Gaussian naive-Bayes, plots data and the predicted probabilities. This one, just see how data points, Gaussian naive-Bayes probabilities, no calibration, isotonic calibration, sigmoid calibration, empirical models. Just go through this probability calibration curves. You have here these probability calibration curves. You have a beautiful documentation in this sklearn. Just go through all these figures and just see this is classifier, logistic, SVC plus isotonic, SVC plus sigmoid, brief. This is log loss, precision, recall, F1. The ROC curves, all those things. Just see probability calibration for 3-class classification. Here they beautifully explained change of predicted probabilities on test sample after sigmoid calibration. Isn't it? Just go through this documentation. You will get from the insights about this particular topic. Just go through it. If you have any difficulty, please keep a comment. Thank you very much.